Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Queenly Vibes, and I am back with another movie review. So, the movie that I will be reviewing tonight is entitled Safe Room, and I've been waiting for this movie, for the past couple of weeks now. It stars Nicole Ari Parker and Boris Cujo and some other actors and everything. So I'm not going to hold you guys. I'm just going to jump right into it. So first and foremost, I just want to say subscribe to my channel, give the video a thumbs up, and share the video. So anyhow, Safe Room. This was this was a pretty good Lifetime movie because I don't know. To be honest with you, I really haven't been enjoying the Lifetime movies like I normally do. Mainly because I think they've been getting a little bit corny for me, especially like the ending to a lot of these movies, and it's just a little bit too much. Anyhow, it's just my opinion. So I'm just going to give a little bit of history with the movie and everything, a little bit of background, shall I say. Okay, so this is a Lifetime thriller. Let's see, it centers on recently widowed Leela Jackson, which is portrayed by Nicole Ari Parker, and her 14-year-old autistic son, Ian, whose name is Nick Sanchez. Okay, and since the death of her husband, Leela is grateful for their kind neighbor, Neil, portrayed by Boris Cujo. Excuse me. And by the way, I believe this is his first directing debut. So he did really well. So congrats to him. So they always work so great as a team, and as well as being husband and wife and everything. So they seem to have a pretty good relationship and everything. So anyhow, Boris Cujo, who looks out for them after Ian accidentally witnesses a break-in in the house across the street and records the horrific murder of the homeowner. Lila becomes embroiled in a deadly struggle to protect her son from intruders. Dominic, who's portrayed by Mackenzie Austin, and Rocco by Drea DiMatteo, who will stop at nothing to retrieve the video evidence of the crime and silence them. Hiding and trapped in a makeshift panic room created by her late husband, Lila and Ian must use all of their strength and intelligence to outsmart the intruders to save themselves. So I absolutely loved it. I thought it was acted out really well and everything. There was also let's see, let me take this off here. Yeah. So I thought it was really well. I enjoyed it. I was anticipating every part of the thriller of it, as far as like what they were gonna do, how were they gonna get out of it and everything. So it kept you in suspense. And by the way, if you're clicking onto this is definitely a spoiler. So if you haven't watched the movie, I would suggest that you watch it first and then come back for this review. So yeah, so it Nicole's which is, her name is Lila. Her son is 14 and he's autistic and everything, and throughout the movie they showed her calming him down. Certain things she had to to do. She had to count with him and get him like in a safe place mentally so that he can relax and kind of just zone out from his high anxiety levels and different things. And I thought that was pretty interesting that they would add a young man with autism, because the thing about it is so many children today are being born um, with autism and everything. As I mentioned, and I have videos here talking about my journey with my son who is on the autism spectrum and everything. I think we definitely have to be educated in um, with so many children who are autistic. You know, we have to be educated. We can't be ignorant. Um, you know, we definitely, you know, you don't want to bully these children. You want to give them room to be themselves, you know. And I think it's definitely time that we stop trying to box kids in as to who's normal and what's normal, you know, because how they have to live their lives and how they learn, it is normal, you know. So anyhow, so yeah, go and check out my videos about my journey with my son on the autism spectrum, which he's a beautiful young man and everything. Anyhow, so I just really appreciated the fact that they added that into it and everything, because we need to be more aware and show love and be patient and all of that good stuff. So yeah, so her son, he had this camera set up in his room where he would just record everything across from his neighbors and everything. I guess this was kind of his hobby and what he enjoyed doing. Sorry about the lighting. Yeah, so as he was just doing his typical recording, he witnessed a murder, you know, happening and everything, and it freaked him out. He had it on video, so the two people involved, they saw that, you know, he actually recorded them and everything, and you know, so the whole thing, and you know, that they had in mind was just to retrieve the video, you know, or what have you. So anyhow, the guy that was involved, he ends up coming over to the home and everything, portraying that he was there to do repairs, because Layla actually called for a repairman because she had some repairs to do at her home. So the guy, he staged himself as a repairman and everything. So, you know, he came into the home and everything, and she was just giving him instructions on what she needed to have done. So he basically was just, you know, looking for her son's room, and he actually, I think, you know, was headed for the room or what have you, and she had to stop him. And she was just like, no, this is completely, I don't want you touching, you know, going into my son's room. You know, please, he needs his private time. You're absolutely not to go in this room and everything. So, you know, the guy is just like, oh, okay, you know, what have you. So he asks her for a drink of water. She goes to get the water, and of course, this guy is completely in the son's room because again, he's there to retrieve the video. So she gets the water, she comes back, he's in the room, and she completely freaks out on him and everything. And you know, she was like, I told you not to be in here, blah blah blah, you know, what have you. So eventually he basically backed them into a corner, and he's just like, look, I need this video, you know. And he started to explain, you know, your son have it, you know. So okay, so the cat was out of the bag. She basically knew that they were in danger. And even though her son, he was aware of what took place on the video and everything, he started to panic. So she had to try to calm him down and everything. And it was just a big blowout. So anyhow, they were able to retreat to this safe room where they can lock themselves in. And this was a door that wasn't easily able to kick down. I forget what the door was made of or what have you, but it was, you know, it was definitely safe. No one could come in, you know, what have you. And she was well skilled on how to just be safe in there and everything. They had food supply in there, all of that, or what have you. So, luckily, her husband had that room put in because it definitely came in handy. Anyhow, so his partner, she comes over, or what have you, male and female. Mind you, the guy was actually pretty nice. He really wanted to let them go after they got the video and everything, but it was the female who was really a pistol, and she was just very nasty about it, and she was, she just didn't trust him. She was like, okay, we may have the video, but they're going to go to the cops and everything, so I don't trust them, blah, blah, blah. She's like, well, I want to see the kid. I just want to see what we're involved with here, or what have you. I'm not just going to let it go like that. So she did, and her and Layla, they got into a scuffle and everything, so there was bloodshed. And one thing about it, any mother, we're going to go into mama bear mode if you mess with one of our children. So, there you have it. So anyhow, they got into the scuffle. Layla and her son ended up, escaping back into the safe room, or what have you, where they could be safe. So what happened after that? The real repairman actually came over, and the lady, I forget her name or what have you, she goes to the door and poses as Miss Jackson and everything. And she said, oh, everything is okay, I don't need a repairman, blah, blah, blah. So the guy's kind of like, just giving her the third degree. No, I have orders to be here. I need to fix, whatever he was there to repair and everything. And, so they just kind of went back and forth, what have you. So finally, the repairman, he looked at her and saw that she was bleeding and everything. And she just kind of like just gave him this look like, look, if you don't get out of here, it's going to be a problem. And it was just so funny. The repairman was like, oh, okay, all right, goodbye. So he left. So on and so forth and everything. There was a glitch with the intercom. The intercom wasn't working and everything. And a police officer came by, which was portrayed by Monica Calhoun, who's in the movie The Best Man, and she's in Best Man Part 2. She's done a lot of other movies and everything, but I haven't seen any of her movies since Best Man Holiday or what have you, so it was good to see her. So she portrayed the police officer. She comes to the intercom. The guy, he goes out and, talks to her to get her to make a U-turn and to get out of there, or what have you. So they're having this dialect and everything, and then all of a sudden, Layla had her son working on the intercom to get it to work. It ended up working, and she was able to, just scream out, hey, we're being held hostage, what have you. So Monica, she turns around, she's telling the guy hands up, and all of that. She almost pretty much had the drop on him and everything, but then the partner comes out and shoots her. So I'm like, darn it, it was good to see Monica, and now she's already dead. So anyhow, they wrap her body up. They ended up putting her in the trunk of her police car and everything. So now the guy, he's just pretty much, he's livid because throughout the whole movie, he was just saying, you know what, I didn't sign up for this. We weren't supposed to kill this many people. It wasn't supposed to be any murder involved. We're just supposed to rob, get our money and split and just keep it moving. So definitely what I really appreciated was the twist at the end, which Boris ended up being the bad guy, which I knew he was because he was acting a little bit weird. And I figured that he was only trying to get to Layla Um, he tried to get her to trust him the whole time, which she did. Um, but he was trying to get inside that safe room, and the way he was acting, I knew it was a little bit weird. And then he started giving out more information than what she had told him. And she finally said, I didn't tell you the neighbor was murdered. I didn't tell you this and that. So, what is this about? So finally, the gig was up for him. So he was in on the robbing and everything across from her neighbors and stuff like that. He was actually the guy that murdered someone or what have you that her son had on the recorder. So all of that was out of the bag, and I thought that was pretty good because I'm glad it just wasn't, the whole lame twist of the two of them actually get together and they go off in the sunset. So I like that it was a different twist to it at the end. And the parts were really well played out by Boris and Nicole and the young man, Nick Sanchez. So I thought it was a really good combination. And like I said, I enjoyed the plot of the movie and everything. I give it definitely a thumbs up. You guys would enjoy it. So that's my review on The Safe Room. I thought it was pretty good. Anyhow, go and watch it and enjoy. Take care.